aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. Thursday, August 15th, 2013. Thursday, August 15th, 2013. Halfway through August already. Don't know how that happened. I guess, Groucho Marx was right. Time flies like an arrow and fruit flies like a banana. We're talking about lung health on today's initial segment. Lung health today on today's initial segment. And then we're going to be picking up some phone calls in the second part here. Going to go to Germany and talk to Gottfried and go to California, talk to Amanda, but not before I have a thing to say or two about lung health, which, by the way, is the subject of my for subscribers only webinar this evening, Thursday, August 15th, 2013 at 8 p.m. Central Time, for subscribers and their guests only, for subscribers and their guests only. Exclusive content on my online health recovery subscription service. Check it out, 8 o'clock Central Time to 9 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be everything you've always wanted to know, and guess who never told you about lung health. Let's start it off in the first segment today by talking about asthma. Okay, asthma is a big bad voodoo daddy. Children aged 0 to 17 years had higher asthma prevalence than adults aged 18 and over for the period of 2008 through 2010. This from the Center for Disease Control. Females had higher asthma prevalence than males, and among racial groups, persons of multiple race had the highest asthma prevalence. Don't know what multiple race means. I guess that means, Hispanic father, Native American mother, or whatever, while Asian people had the lowest rates. Blacks and American Indians or Alaska Native races had higher asthma prevalences compared to whites. And among Hispanic groups, asthma prevalence was higher among persons of Puerto Rican rather than Mexican descent, and that was a significant difference. Asthma prevalence in the United States is big, man. It is big. Let me read you the numbers. Total number of asthma cases in the United States, 29 million. That's 29 million. 29 million cases of asthma in the United States. Chronic bronchitis, 10 million cases of chronic bronchitis. Emphysema, 4 million cases of emphysema. And again, chronic bronchitis, 10 million. Right? Lung disease is a big bad voodoo daddy here in the United States. It's not any different in industrialized nations around the world. Interesting, don't you think, that women and children should have higher rates of it and that blacks in the United States should have higher rates of it? Well, why is this? Is it because of some asthma gene? No, it's not because of some asthma gene, for goodness sake. By the way, the incidence of asthma went up. Asthma prevalence has gone up from 7.3% in 2001 to 8.4% in 2010. So it rose a whole percentage point in 7 years. Now, if it's genetic, how is that possible? Because if it were genetic, what? Are there, children born in that 7-year period with the bad lung gene? Where did it come from? The bad lung gene. Isn't genetic stuff, Mendelian genetics, aren't the weakest people of the herd supposed to be weeded out? So if there was, in fact, a genetic component, which is what the MDs scapegoat this as, it's genetic, asthma is genetic, then we should see less and less and less of it, not more and more and more, because the weakest people from the herd would be culled out. And why all of a sudden this spike? What's up with that? I mean, where did the asthma gene come from? A meteor shower? Did one of the space shuttles, bring it back into the atmosphere of the Earth? I don't think so. Medical doctors, MDs, because they have no training, no respect, no appreciation, and no experience with medical nutrition, are completely blind to the nutritional relationship between vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, amino acids, and the genesis of chronic disease. They just don't see it. They don't see it. They're completely blind to it. So they have to explain it in a way that, makes them look good, in a way that saves face, as the Japanese are wont to say. So they blame it all on genetics. Oh, you have the asthma gene. Well, which gene is it, Doc? Well, we don't know. Science is huff and puff, attempting to determine exactly which gene it is, but we know that it's genetic. But even though we've decoded the entire human genome, I cannot tell you which gene it is. Huff and puff, huff and puff. And we let them get away with it. We give them a pass. That's like the automobile mechanic saying that, your brakes went bad because of a Wiccan curse, because of a curse by a witch or a warlock. Yeah, that's why your brakes went bad, and we buy it. Oh, really? This invisible, unseen thing that you don't really know what it is. Oh, okay, that's fine. Couldn't have been because of a faulty brake pad. Couldn't have been because of that. No, couldn't have been because of that. Couldn't be the manufacturer's problem. Couldn't be the doctor's problem. It's got to be the patient's problem. See, they point their finger at you. You have the problem. You've got a bad gene. So number one, again, to beat a dead horse, because we all need to hear this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Number one, if it was genetic, we wouldn't be able to get on the other side of it. And number two, if it was genetic, there should be less and less of it, not more and more. So it's not genetic. Lungs, like any other part of the body, need nutrients in order to maintain their function, right? Your tires need air. Your radiator needs water. Your engine needs oil. If it runs out of these things, parts start to break. Well, if your body runs out of nutrients, parts start to break because medical doctors have their heads extremely far up their intestinal organs. They're not even able to see daylight here. They've thrown the baby out with their bathwater and completely discounting the effects of nutrition on organ systems. They have completely thrown it out. And, they believed, Betty Crocker as well, that you can get all the nutrients your body needs from the 4 food groups. Baloney. And if you eat the 4 food groups, you're going to die, sucker. But before you're going to die, you're going to suffer, and then you're going to die. And if you let the MDs get their claws on you, you're going to go bankrupt. Leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed medical treatments. Leading cause of death, MD-directed medical treatments. While we have given our bodies over to the MDs for care, asthma has risen an entire percentage point in the last 8 years. And we give them a pass. There should be congressional inquiries. Why is asthma going up? Why is arthritis rates going up? Why is high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and obesity and autism skyrocketing? Why are all of these conditions getting worse and worse and worse? Well, it's really good for the drug companies, isn't it? I mean, isn't it good for them? Isn't that how they make their money, by keeping you sick? You always hear that headline, right? You hear that headline all the time. $128 billion was spent last year in the fight for asthma and lung health. This enormous burden to the United States economy cost the taxpayers $150 billion, blah-de-dee, blah-de-dee, blah-de-dee. You never hear the headline. Medical doctors made record profits this year on the back of your suffering. Hospitals made record profits. Pharmaceutical companies, it's very, very good to own stock in Pfizer or Merck. Very good. They had their best year ever. You never hear that headline. Because the drug companies own the media, and you're being fed a crock of crap. Now, medical doctors are not sadistic people. They're not, a small percentage of them are, like Mengele, right, from, Nazi Germany. A small percentage of them are, but by and large, people get into medicine. I don't know why they get into it. Everybody's an individual, but I'm pretty sure nobody gets into medicine because they, on purpose, want to hurt people. But they only know what they've been taught, and the problem with the education of an MD is that they're pig-headed and that they think that what they were taught is the epitome of scientific medical application. They've been brainwashed by the drug companies just like you have. They don't know any better. They don't know that in order for your lungs to be healthy, they need essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids are a mandatory nutrient necessary for your lungs to expand and contract. Ever had a rubber band? Rubber band is nice and flexible, right? And if you leave a rubber band out of the Ziploc bag that it came in on the desktop for a couple of months, that puppy's going to dry out. And if you go to stretch it, what happens? Boom, it snaps right into like dry tinder. Well, when your lungs run out of essential fatty acids, they lose their ability to lubricate. They lose their lubrication. It's really no different than your engine running out of engine oil. What's going to happen? Well, the cylinders are going to seize up because the engine gets too hot and there's no lubrication, and that ain't good. So when your lungs run out of the nutrients necessary to maintain fluidity and elasticity and lubrication, guess what? They dry up. And when your lungs get dry, it's hard to breathe in, it's hard to breathe out. It's hard to breathe in, it's hard to breathe out. Now, your medical doctor will tell you that your only option if you're asthmatic is to get a bronchodilator. It's a drug that forces your airways to open up through the induction of biochemical pathway. It's a drug-induced relaxation. It's like taking a muscle relaxant, like taking an antidepressant. It doesn't fix the problem. Like taking a pain medicine, it doesn't fix the problem. It medicates the problem. And then when the drug wears off, problem's back. But, you know, the lungs are weak because they're out of essential nutrients in the first place. And now you've medicated the lungs with a drug you're forcing the tissue to respond in an unnatural way, and the tissue's weak. So guess what? The more you use your asthma inhaler, the more you need to use the asthma inhaler, and your lung condition gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Our solution for lung health, and certainly in the case of asthma, and I'm going to get more into the nitty-gritty tonight with, you know, emphysema and bronchitis and the negative effects of nicotine and smoking and all of that nonsense. But really, we need not overlook the obvious. In order for your lungs to be healthy, they need the 90 essential nutrients and extra essential fatty acids. So if you're suffering with a lung condition, then it would be prudent for you for 90 days to get one healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month and one bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, because this combination of nutrients provides to your body the raw materials that everything needs to function properly with extra essential fatty acids to support the health of the lungs. I mean, you change the oil in your car, you make sure the oil is topped off. Why not do the same for your body? You don't know what you don't know. Check it out, fireyourmdnow.com. Right there on the website, click the online subscription service. It's $20 a month. Join us tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. See you there. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. Going to be talking about lung health tonight on the 4-subscriber-only webinar. Check it out right there, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the subscription button and get a clue. Get on board with science-based, clinically verified health recovery protocols brought to you by licensed naturopathic physicians with over, combined 50 years of clinical experience. And tell me that ain't a good deal. No matter which way you slice it, that is a good deal. Achtung, baby. We are going to Germany now. We are going to talk to Gottfried about whatever he wants to talk about because he is German. Hello, Gottfried. You are live.
Long time I don't hear from you.
How are you, Gottfried?
I'm okay, thank you. And you?
Very, very good. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. What's going on?
A lot going on. One, I want to talk about 2 downlines I've got. One is scheduled for total removal of her thyroid next week.
Yeah.
And she's damn worried about it.
Yeah.
And the second one, she have fibromyalgia and pains, arthritis.
Yep.
And the son have this muscular problem. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, dystrophy, muscular dystrophy?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So these are, there's a lot of stuff going on here in this family, right? So all of these conditions are, from our point of view, caused by nutrient deficiencies. Now, Dr. Wallach was in charge of research years ago in China where he proved through autopsy the relationship between cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy, and that they were both related to selenium deficiencies in the blood. They're selenium deficiency diseases, period. He proved that and published it, and then he got blackmailed, or not blackmailed, he got blacklisted by the medical industry because, that information was inconsistent with their paradigm. They didn't want to hear that. They just didn't want to hear that. So to support and promote the structure and function of somebody's body in the face of a diagnosis of muscular dystrophy and fibromyalgia, the recommendation is the anti-aging Healthy Body Pack 2.0, the anti-aging Healthy Body Pack 2.0, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And for the muscular dystrophy person, it would be prudent for them to add to that program 1 bottle of HGH Youth Complex, 1 bottle of HGH Youth Complex per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And either one of them can use as much of Z-Radical as they can afford into the bargain. These programs provide them with the nuts and bolts, the raw materials that their bodies need to optimize their function. Of course, everybody needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods, right?
Yeah.
Give their bodies a fighting chance with this type of nutrition, and we're going to see what happens. Now, we did a free webinar a number of weeks ago on muscular dystrophy, and if you go to my YouTube account, which is Dr. Peter Glidden, just go to YouTube, type in Dr. Peter Glidden, and then type in muscular dystrophy. A webinar that I did with Dr. Wallach and Todd Harrison, who's a muscular dystrophy survivor here in the United States, will pop right up. It's an hour long. You can watch it. It's a real eye-opener about what's happening in the treatment and management of muscular dystrophy here in the U.S. It's been a great big whitewash by the pharmaceutical industry, and it's bad. So check it out. Knowledge is power. Now, for the thyroid problem, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need surgery, and sometimes you don't. And the surgeon is never going to be able to tell you because they don't have any experience with medical nutrition. So from the surgeon's point of view, it's surgery or, just surgery now or surgery 6 months from now or surgery 2 years from now, because you're going to need surgery because they don't know how to fix anything. Now, sometimes you need surgery, sometimes you don't. And it's always better to wait if it's not a life-threatening condition and give medical nutrition a 6-month go. Because, even if you do need surgery, it's better to go into surgery with a nutrified body. So to support and promote thyroid function, what we do is the Anti-Aging Healthy Start Pack, appropriate for body weight, the selenium, appropriate for body weight, 1 bottle of Ocean's Gold per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and the myrrh oil topically, myrrh oil, M-Y-R-R-H, oil applied topically 3 times a day, the myrrh oil. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, and no broccoli, no cauliflower, no eggplant, no Brussels sprouts, because these vegetables all decrease thyroid function. Hey, Godfrey, we're up against the hard break. Punch me an email, buddy. We will continue our conversation about how to get nutrients. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak to me live. We're also streaming live on the World Wide Web. Just go to my website, fireyourmdnow.com, and click on the link, baby. Life is good. Going to California now, one of my favorite states in the Union, to talk about Amanda. Hey, Amanda, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I just wanted to say I'm very thankful for you and Longevity and Dr. Wallace. You guys are awesome, and thank God for you.
You go, girl. Well, I appreciate it. Those are very kind words. Thank you very much. What's up?
Well, I talked to you July 16th of this year, and so I have an awesome testimony about your product because in 2006 I was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, and so it's been a long journey, and I was on Amron for 2 years on that prior to being on antibiotics for 2 years for vaginal yeast.
Yikes.
And so 14 days on, you told me to do the anti-pack, the selenia, and, it was a long list of things you put me on.
Yeah.
But 14 days in, it reversed. My bladder is 0 pain, and I was urinating every 30 minutes throughout the entire day. I was down to no food because I had flare-up. And so 0 pain, no flare-up, and I urinate maybe every 5 hours now, and I'm sleeping all night, which I was not sleeping at all, just in general, not only because urinating, just because, just couldn't sleep, And so now everything is wonderful. I dosed with the Colloidal Silver 3 times a day, which took the vaginal away, and I just seen my doctor in July, a week before I talked to you, and he told me that I was autoimmune, and he was extremely irritated and told me there was nothing he can do for the vaginal yeast. So, yeah, that comes back, though, during intimate with my husband or shower. I take showers, the vaginal just continues to come back. So I wanted to ask you about that today, and a little constipation here and there, and abdominal bloating sometimes.
Yeah.
And also, I'm always cold, but I listened to one of your webinars on thyroid, and I think I'm somewhere in there. So. Yeah,
I would agree with you on that. But, I mean, first things first, I mean, let's give you a nice big... Let's do that once more. I mean, this is as real as it gets, girl. Now, just for the listening audience, just to keep this all on the up and up, since the very first time that you called me on the radio, have we spoken? I mean, have I coached you in any way, shape, or form about how to give this testimonial? Or I had no idea what you were going to say when you called up today, right?
No. I actually barely got through to you that day, and it was very short. You told me exactly what to do, and I wrote it down really quick, and that was it. So, all right, so
here's the deal. How long were you suffering with this interstitial cystitis problem before you talked to me?
Oh, since 2006, and recently this 2013 was a turnaround. I mean, this is bad. I mean, when I say bad, I was really sick, so...
Yeah, so you've had it for 7 years, and for the last 12 months, more or less, it's been really bad, right?
Yeah, very, very bad.
And all this time, of course, you've been under the care of the MDs, right?
Yes.
And the last time that you went to an MD, he told you there was not a darn thing he could do for you. Basically, it's your problem because you have the autoimmune disease, and there's nothing he can do for that. And your grandmother, great-great-grandfather probably gave this to you, and it's been lying dormant in your system like a voodoo priestess in the back swamp waiting to curse you. That's what he told you, right? It's an autoimmune disease. There was nothing he could do for it, right?
7 days I spoke with you.
Yeah, and then you call me up. I barely speak to you for, 5 minutes?
Not even that. It was really,
I had no blood work. I had nothing to go on other than your story, and was able to tell you a medical nutrition program that completely reversed over 7 years of suffering. And how long did it take?
I'm not even on the 4 months yet. That took 30 days to sleep.
Not even 4 weeks. And, folks, if you're in the listening audience and you're not in tears, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with you. This is how we roll here. And this is the tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you, as God is my witness, since I have been following Dr. Wallach's health recovery programs, since I have been using Dr. Wallach's research, using Dr. Wallach's knowledge base, recommending people go on Dr. Wallach's health recovery programs, the things that I've seen people recover from, you wouldn't believe it. And this testimonial from Amanda in California is the tip of the iceberg. I got to tell you, it is the tip of the iceberg.
I'm 29 years old, and I weigh 129 pounds, and I'm 5'1". So
gotta love it.
During that time, I was really, really sick. So I'm feeling great, and I'm having a lot more energy. All
right. So look, the best is yet to come. Now, so we just got to keep riding this horse, right, until we're completely over it as far as all of your symptoms go. And the old-time naturopath said that it takes approximately 1 month for every year that you've had the problem for total resolution once you get on the right program. So you've been in the weeds with this program for 7 years, so you should expect 7 months. You should expect to be on this program for 7 months, more or less. Who knows, maybe 6, maybe 5, maybe 4, right? In order to get on the other side of it altogether so that everything's gone and you're just living a normal life without chronic bladder problems, without chronic vaginosis, without chronic yeast problems. The recommendation here would be, in your mind's eye, you should be thinking that this is a 7-month program. Now, you might not need to be on it for the full 7 months, but the point is that the resolution of a chronic health condition, it's a process, right? It's like watching a flower grow, right?
Yeah.
Little bits at a time, and life is good. So really, Amanda, the only thing that's necessary here for you is just to maintain the discipline of the program. Now, the yeast problem is a problem with sugar. It's a sugar metabolism problem. So I want you to continue to use the colloidal silver whenever it flares up. And for also probiotics. I want you to be using the probiotics for 4 more weeks. Through the middle of September, I want you to be continuing on the root beer belly. Okay, I want you to continue to use the colloidal silver. And did I put you on the blood sugar pack, the healthy blood sugar pack, or the Sweeties?
No.
Did I recommend that?
No, we didn't get on there.
Okay, so I don't think that that's necessary even right now. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to add more stuff. But what I would counsel you to do is every time you get a flare-up of bloating, like abdominal symptoms, right?
Okay.
You want to look to see the very last thing that you had to eat or drink. Okay. And just write it down. And then the next time you get an abdominal bloating or a problem, you write down the very last stuff that you had to eat or drink. And by the time, the third or the fourth time it happens, you'll break out the list. And there's got to be things on that list that will be common. The most common cause of this situation is you're unwittingly eating food that your body doesn't like. You might have a low-grade delayed hypersensitivity food allergy to this stuff. You don't know it because, you think that carrots are the most wonderful food in the world. You might be allergic to them. Or who knows? Could be anything. So that's the first thing to do. Just pay attention to see if there's any relationship at all between what you eat and the occurrence of the abdominal symptoms, number one. And number two, also look to see if it happens after you do the Beyond Tangy Tangerine drink. Because if it happens after the Beyond Tangy Tangerine drink, within 2 hours of that, you're drinking it too quickly in too concentrated a form. So it might be related to you're just knocking down the supplements, the liquid supplements, in too concentrated a dose too quickly. So if it is the supplements that are causing it, then dilute them. If you're using 8 ounces of water now, use 12 ounces. And if you're pounding it down in 20 minutes now, take an hour to drink it. You know what I'm saying? Those really are the only two possibilities here. Okay. The other possibility is that the yeast in your body is hanging on, and it's just going to take a while for it to all go away. So, honestly, Amanda, I think the only thing that you need is more time here. And this is just a fantastic testimonial. I am so very, very happy for you. So how do you feel about longevity?
Awesome. I tell everybody about it.
Well, all right. So listen, now, I don't know if you're doing it, but you're a knucklehead if you don't do it, because longevity will pay you to do what you would do for free. So have you become a distributor yet? Have you become a member of longevity?
Yes, we do. No, I'm not sure if we do the member. We're just on auto ship, and I don't know if that's a member.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's two ways to interface with longevity, as a customer and as a business builder. And so, look, if you're telling people about this anyway, for a one-time $10 enrollment fee, you can become a longevity member, and when you tell people about it, you'll get paid. So listen, so what you want to do is you want to call up longevity, and you want to give them your name and your address and have them find you in their system. And then say, look, I want to become a member. Who in my upline is a successful business builder? You want to use that language. Say, who in my upline is a successful business builder? You want to get in touch with them. Say, hey, I'm Amanda from California. I want to do the business. I have an awesome testimonial, and I need you to teach me how to do the business. And that's how we do it in longevity. Oh, wow. We lean on the people who are in our organization. You have a whole organization above you in longevity. You just need to tap into it. So give longevity a call. Talk to their customer service. Have them find you and say, hey, listen, I need to know who in my upline is a successful business builder. I'd like their name and their phone number. They'll give it to you. Call them up. Say, hey, I'm Amanda from California. Show me the money, baby. And
you're funny.
And life is good. All right, Amanda, I've got to let you go. Call me anytime. Really a good job. Fantastic, man. I mean, keep up the good work. Very, very, very inspirational. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to do it. I just have to do it. I have to do this one more time. Here she goes, Amanda from California. Thanks so much. This is how we do it, ladies and gentlemen, and we say it all the time. We don't get, here's what happens, right? People will call in, they'll have health problems, and we tell them what to do, and they get better. And then they go about their lives. And, they've got jobs, this radio show's on in the middle of the afternoon. Most people are working. It's hard for them to get away from their jobs. So we don't get as many testimonial call-ins as we get questions about health, because when people are in trouble, they'll drop what they're doing to get help. But when people are feeling good, you know, they're not going to, like, find the time to call up and say, hey, you know, I got a great testimonial. So every once in a while we get a testimonial. They're always awesome. And by the way, I'm going to be working with Jonathan Emord in the future here very, very soon to formulate a website where we can have legal testimonials for medical nutrition interventions with health recovery protocols. There's going to be a whole website that you'll be able to go to when you're feeling a little down in the dumps, when you're feeling, you know, overburdened by life and, oh, my God, I'm never going to get better. Well, guess what? There is hope. There is a different way. It's the Longevity Way, brought to you Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 by yours truly, Dr. Peter Glidden. Please, if you haven't already, go to the website, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Longevity button and join the cause. I mean, for goodness sake, join our merry band of men and women and let us show you the light of medical nutrition. Stick around. When we come back, I'm going to Texas to talk to Jan. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. So, which is better? The 7 years of pain and suffering or 4 weeks of nutritional supplements? You tell me. Amanda knows what's best. For goodness sake, ladies and gentlemen, these guys have nothing for you except, you know, drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, financial trouble, and then death. Unless, of course, you're unlucky enough to suffer from a trauma, and then you can go to those guys and women. For goodness sake, fire your medical doctor. Cancel your comprehensive medical insurance. Buy catastrophic instead. Join Longevity and get your health back, just like Amanda in California did. By the way, if you're looking for the radio tab on my website, if you're looking for the live video feed, just go to the radio tab on fireyourmdnow.com. Click on it, and that's where you'll see the live video feed. And if you're a Dr. Glidden insider, if you are a Fire Your MD Now insider, tonight's subscription-only webinar on lung health. Hope to see you there at 8 o'clock Central Time. I'm going to Texas right now to finish out the first hour with Jan. Hey, Jan, what's happening? Thanks for the phone call. Jan from Texas, are you there? Come on in, Jan. I know you're there, Jan. Calling Jan. All right, Jan probably, we'll keep Jan on hold and see if we can't pick her up in the second segment. How about Robert from Virginia? Hey, Robert from Virginia, thanks for calling. You are live.
Yes.
Hey, Robert from Virginia, how can I help?
Yes, I had a black spot on my kidney, and they're not sure whether it's malignant, but they want to go in and cut, and they're not cutting my kidney.
Yeah, okay, so you went into a medical doctor, they did some type of a diagnostic array, and they said that there's potential trouble with your kidney, so they want to go in and operate, right?
Yeah, they want to, they think it has gotten a little bit bigger the last time they checked, and I said, well, they're not cutting.
Okay, well, here's the deal with that, Robert. You know, in a perfect world, right? I mean, in a perfect world, we would have cancer research done by naturopathic doctors, done by acupuncturists, done by herbalists. The people who are in charge of cancer diagnosis and treatment now are the MDs, and they're horrible at what they do. I mean, we have an unbelievably poor, we have lost the war on cancer thanks to the MDs. We've lost the war on cancer. Now, and this is the state that we live in. This is the situation that we live in right now. Because of their incompetence, there are some things that we need to understand about how cancer generates itself in the world. I mean, maybe this is cancer, maybe it's not. But if it is cancer, and if it's in one of your kidneys, then you need to have that sucker diagnosed. Because if it's a particular form of kidney cancer and you don't deal with it, it's going to spread to the rest of your body, and it's going to be miserable, and it's going to be horrible, and it ain't going to be fun. Now, I understand how you feel about MDs. I understand how you feel about letting them cut. I understand, you know, if you've listened to this show for more than 2 days, you know how I feel about these knuckleheads. And it's based on experience. I'm not just prejudiced against these guys. My feelings come from actual hands-on experience over 20 years.
Yeah.
For goodness sake. But, you know, look, man, you can live with one kidney, but you can't live with metastasized cancer. So this is one of the rare times that I would advise people to go and let somebody diagnose it. But here's what you want to do. You want to shop around. You want to shop around to different hospitals in your town that cover your insurance. And don't wait until the beginning of the month. Do not go from the 15th of the month to the 30th of the month. Go at the beginning of the month to get a second opinion and then a third opinion, and find out from different doctors what they're going to do to diagnose it. How are they going to do it? Is it going to be an invasive thing? Are they just going to punch a little hole in your back, put a scope in there, and do a biopsy? Is it going to be a major surgery? Is it going to be a minor surgery? Shop around for a surgeon who has a good reputation and who's going to do the least invasive procedure possible. Okay, you need to know what this is. You need to know what this is just so you can sleep at night. And in the meantime, to support and promote the health of your kidney, the recommendation, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 4 bottles of selenium, and 2 bottles of Super KB. That's an anti-aging healthy start pack, 4 bottles of selenium, and 2 bottles of Super KB. Plus, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Good luck, brother.